Hey guys, I'm trying to make this a little bit of a quicker episode today, but you never know. These talks can sort of drag on. Um, this one is a little bit less precise on the spectrum that I just kind of created this today, and this sort of spectrum is about being dispensable versus being valuable, and a lot of that has to do with this kind of crazy world we live in now, where everything's about almost like monetary value, and a lot of times people can get so attached to the monetary value of things that they can't even really enjoy moments. They sort of, for example, like going to the power game. Um, a lot of people that the elephants in the room, and they spend some money to go to the power game, and things don't turn out the way that they wanted to. They didn't really get out what they wanted to. They sort of have some sort of investment in that, and a lot of times you'll travel to places, and uh, maybe there is that underlying thought about uh, how much money you're going to spend, and if you got out what you spent on that vacation or that person that you spent time with. And it's a really disruptive and complicated world we live in, where um, things just seem to revolve around money. I remember even going to church when I was younger, and my family had trouble donating cash to the church, and was even disrespected by people. I think even one time my mother even was like in tears as she left church, and I didn't really know what was going on exactly, but now that I think about it more, I think that there was some people that were really giving her a hard time for not being able to put up money for the church. And so a lot of people kind of just see a dollar on your head, and if you go through the world, and people are always going to be sort of sizing you up on your dollar value, I guess, in a way, and even sizing up interactions, and sizing up, trips to the ballpark and things like that, and whether or not they got out what they put in, um, and and so how do you disrupt this in a way? Because money is extremely important. There's always that kind of elephant in the room, and if you don't address it, you can end up in a pretty dark place too. But how do you not let money rule your free time, and sort of think about ways to sort of reinvest in yourself, and the time that you spend? Because a lot of times when you sort of separate from that monetary investment into a good time, you'll actually enjoy the time a lot more. So it can be very, very tough to detach from the money that you put into things. And I know, for example, I had a friend group, and they went out to Vegas, and they didn't really, and they had money too. I know the one dude in particular had a lot of money, and he didn't really enjoy himself. But I don't think that was like a monetary thing, but it was a lack of reinvesting in himself and his own improvement, and the time that he spent to improve himself so he can enjoy a trip to like Vegas. So you're gonna have to find a balance there, because monetary gains doesn't really lead to being a valuable person, and a very, like, a person that people are drawn to. And a lot of times these valuable people aren't going to really want to be around someone that thinks of them as a transaction, um, but someone that also provides value too in that interaction, instead of you know focusing on, I don't know. it's tough to describe, but there's situations where that focus of money just draws into social life, and it can really disrupt your way to even associate with people and really be able to enjoy that. So I think it's important to really understand what it is that you're making money for, and just sort of gear that towards reinvesting in yourself. Like, are you making money so that um, you have more time to reinvest in yourself, or you can reinvest your money so that you can have more time in the long run to enjoy yourself and really focus on getting the value out of life that isn't monetary. Getting like this sort of interaction here with the this recording everything. This is there's no monetary gains out of this, but there's an extreme amount of enjoyment that takes place of being able to express and everything like that. So this isn't geared towards some sort of monetary gain right now. Maybe someday it will be, and maybe at some point it will be a little bit more. But I think always deep down inside me, just because I'm cognizant of this stuff, that the focus will be the improvement of humanity versus monetary gains. And I'd like to be able to get my monetary gains and just kind of like reinvesting in my money into businesses and having my money sort of work for itself in a way. And almost like the way I want to go through life, I want to be able to be such a valuable person that my value itself kind of works for me too, in a way where I can sort of network and be able to provide value with people, and also get some value out of some high level consultant level people that can also bring sort of different aspects into my life to sort of improve. And then honestly, money falls in that way. I think I'm not really thinking about that as a monetary thing, but like money will also follow if you sort of can find the right networks and things like that. So it's like if you're out there and you sort of are making a lot of money, how you can sort of gear yourself towards in the spectrum where you kind of as yourself are kind of dispensable and not very attractive to friends, and I guess whatever the counterpart is, whatever person you're seeking. Like, are you dispensable and have a lot of problems in understanding how that you have a lot of money but yet you're not valuable to other people? And so do you see like interactions as transactional? Are you working towards reinvesting in yourself? That's sort of in the middle. You're dispensable. You're thinking things transactional. Now you're reinvesting in yourself, and finding ways to, if you're going to spend money on things, there's some sort of underlying improvement to sort of help you achieve things that aren't necessarily monetary, but core ways to improve yourself. I mean, there can be a little bit of both too. I mean, there's a lot of balance in this sort of thing, between, because a lot of times you can still learn new things that helps give you monetary gains, but also helps you improve with people. But sometimes, and I think greatly, there's more often than not, there's a problem where you can make money and you're so invested in making money that you're not able to improve yourself in a way. And that happens to so many people out there. So many people that are working jobs that take up a lot of their time. And so time is money. They're so focused on time is money, and which is true. But then whenever they get off the clock, they can't shut that down, and everything seems to be sort of transactional. Their time is a transaction, things like that. Whereas whenever you separate yourself, you can sort of flow in interactions and be able to reinvest yourself to find these lessons, and also be more focused on interactions and things like that. and then reach that stage of just being valuable, a valuable person, and feeling and knowing your value, which is extremely important. And knowing that even if you fall at that spectrum, the lower side of the spectrum, maybe you need to just kind of reevaluate how you, the things that are valuable about yourself, the skills that you have, and then find a way to sort of bring that out of you. It may be a way that you can. Some people might fall into that category of feeling dispensable and having these problems. Whenever you could just kind of rewire things, in a way, a lot of people could just rewire and sort of find a way to sort of detach yourself from seeking out monetary experiences, like to find it to basically to find enjoyment by buying something like someone that's struggling to have enjoyment in their life, and they finally have they have some time for themselves, or maybe they have an abundance of time, but they always spend on they're seeking someone else to basically provide them. Like, let's say they buy tickets to a comedy show because they can't really facilitate humor within themselves and to other people, so they go to this comedy show so that they can sort of seek a interaction with someone that is really very fruitful with their humor and the ability to captivate an audience. And if you can sort of, I mean, everybody is capable of doing that too, in a certain way, of being their own source of humor. And so if you don't sort of reinvest in your own ability to find amusement and humor in life, then you have to seek somebody else to provide that for you. And a lot of times people end up on the TV, and that's a really easy source to get emotions and things like that. An easy source to get humor, whereas in their life, maybe they don't think it's even appropriate to have humor. They're very, very strict person, very, very reserved. It's a very interesting dynamic where you have a very reserved person, but as soon as they go to a comedy show, they can really enjoy a comedian because in their like left brain, they're so, I'm like pointing to my right brain right now, but they're so left brained that it makes sense for them to go to a stand-up comedian to sort of get those sort of wild humor, because it's not appropriate in their lifestyle. So it's very strange, but so you're basically paying to be able to sort of feel these aspects of life that you're not able to sort of just enjoy. So this is very strange to me. But I also do like comedy. I really do enjoy comedy, but I also really enjoy providing comedic value to my friends. So, and that's one of my strengths. So I don't really necessarily need to listen to a lot of stand-up comedians, because I also operate in that way where I'm trying to just be a jokester, a bit of a clown at times. And so I wouldn't really need to pay anybody to do that, because I think that even that stand-up comedian is really enjoying his comedy and the interaction, but also he gets paid for it. So it's just win-win-win. So he gets paid for it. He gets to go out. He gets to make people laugh. He gets a good interaction. Hopefully it doesn't bomb. But you get what I'm saying here. There's a lot of a seeking for amusement. I feel like Netflix now is just a kind of a cesspool of movies that are just seeking emotional reaction, because a lot of people suffer from really, even in their day-to-day life, putting themselves in sort of interactions like that maybe that they give them that sort of fulfillment. So it actually is difficult to describe, and I sort of went out here today, and I had a few notes, and mainly we covered everything. I think um, the paying money to enjoy yourself, and and really just thinking about what you're doing um, with your money, because on an investment front, on a if you want to really if you are really seeking a lot of money, you have to sort of detach yourself from these materialistic things, these vehicles, and different things that you feel like you need. So in a popular book, it's called The Millionaire Next Door. They sort of uh, evaluated all the millionaires in I think just like America, just in all the people that are millionaires in America, and how it is that they are able to be millionaires year after year after year, and it's taking their money, and instead of buying materialistic things, they're just kind of reinvesting. And so on a business front and on a social front, you have to reinvest yourself. And great companies out there, they find a way to reinvest their cash flow into the business so that they can sort of provide value to their shareholders. And that's a very monetary thing, though, the business side of things here. As we sort of we're trying to talk about how to sort of see yourself and the improvement of your social interactions without without monetary perception of things. If you A lot of women, if you go up and buy them a drink, they basically you're basically putting a value on the interaction. Like, um, it's a monetary interaction at that point, and you pay for a woman's meal. They see it as kind of a transaction in a way, versus, I guess, an investment of their time. Maybe they do, but it's a weird. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to get at here, but like, oftentimes it's better to have somebody be investing in you rather than you investing in them. The dynamic of having somebody invest their time with you, as soon as you start paying for their time, all of a sudden you're investing in their time, and you're sort of losing that control, that aspect of like a you may be trying to seem like you're a valuable person because you have money, but you're also giving away your money to somebody for that you possibly have just met. So it kind of shows that you don't have the value itself beyond monetary amount to really hold this interaction. So you have to watch out for that. It's not always bad to buy. If that woman has invested their time enough with you, it is perfectly fine to pay for her. But if you're not really getting much from this woman besides her time, why are you paying for her time? You know? So if you can sort of think about this, and think about even asking her, what it is that, finding out what she brings to the table, uh, you have a sort of mutual interaction versus some sort of monetary interaction where you're trying to buy for her time and stuff like that. So that if you can sort of achieve this level playing field of just knowing your own worth and knowing your own value, and then seeking to see if she's a valuable person, then down the line, when you discover that she's a valuable person or he's a valuable person, then it is perfectly fine for you to pay for her stuff. But hey, if that's your style of going about things, if you want to go and pay for a lot of people's meals, I mean, you are sort of investing your money, and actually can kind of kill your interaction. I actually just saw a clip of this man who took a woman out for a date, and I think he was expecting an outcome uh, of things to get more physical after the date. And so he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll pick up the tab." And then he was like, "Oh, should I walk you to your room and stuff like that?" She's like, "No, no, it's okay. You don't have to do that. I don't, I don't want things to get physical on the first day. That's just not part of how I am." And then after that, the guy was like, basically insinuating on her paying for her side of the meal, and she ended up paying for her side of the meal. But the guy was, I mean, huge douchebag vibes from the guy, especially, um, thinking that he can get physical with a woman just because he pays for the meal. It's really strange. I mean, that's a guy that comes from scarcity, low value sort of mindset. Um, and it may be even appropriate for you to sort of decide that before you have dinner with somebody, because we are in a very progressive world where women should be able to also pay for their own meals. So it's definitely food for thought, because if you listen to yourself and you don't want to pay for a meal unless you have physical interaction afterwards, um, I can't even relate to that. I really honestly can't even relate to that, thinking that because you buy someone drinks that you deserve something. Or I can barely relate to women who think that they just deserve a drink as soon as they walk up to somebody. I've even had times before where a woman that I knew, I was friends with her friend, and then a woman basically ordered drinks on my tab, and she expected me to pay for it. And then all of a sudden the guy came up and asked me to pay for it, and I was like, I didn't order those drinks. And then he basically went to the woman and was like, you just ordered those drinks. Are you going to pay for them? You have to pay for those drinks, or you're gonna have to leave. And I think that was like a wake up call for her. And then she was like mad at me, and I was like, I don't even know you. I don't know you. You're just friends with my friend. And she was an attractive girl, and I think that was a wake up call for her. And I got really weird vibes from them, and I actually left the bar. I think I had already had somebody who was texting me to do something also. So I like that's the thing, the scarcity mindset. If you don't have anything else to do, all of a sudden you're very invested in just an interaction. You're like, you need some sort of outcome. Whereas I'm not gonna buy that girl's drink, and I don't even expect anything from her. I just was there because she was friends with her friend. And all of a sudden I'm getting hit up by somebody else, and I'm ready to leave already. And then I mean, it was weird. You don't usually experience that, but if things get weird, you don't feel like you have to sort of make things right for people that are acting weird. You have to be able to understand how things work in the world and be pretty assertive about that. Um, Women coming up and expecting you to pay for their tabs and stuff like that is it's a bit ridiculous. And you'll actually, if you fall into that frame, you actually seem like an unvaluable person in a way, unless you just have your money, you have so much money that you can just do whatever. But even if you have a lot of money, you shouldn't really be giving it to people that don't deserve it. So that's gonna be it today. And once again, it is we went on a lot longer than I thought. It's actually one of my longer videos lately, but I think it's an important one. I think there's a very important aspect of the world that we live in, and how money actually causes a lot of problems. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think. Let me know if this is an eye-opening aspect, and whether or not it resonates with you. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. Love you for that, and I'll see you next time.